Kelvin Hagen with HagenInternational.info, and talking about my internet lifestyle network. And right now, Mark has asked us to do a little video about the Code 6, Invisible Leadership. And as I was listening to that, and I absolutely love the story about David and Goliath, and I've used it in many examples of my own about as David went out there to face Goliath, he didn't think about the obstacle that was in front of him. He thought about the rewards that were on the other side of that obstacle. But he didn't come to that from just one day picking up a sling and going out and facing them. And I love what Mark brought out in here, and he talks about the killing of the lion and the bear. I love that. So many times before that. And what are the lions and bears in your life he went over? Because the lions and bears, obviously, in David's life was, he was the shepherd, and of course he had many experiences. But it goes back to thinking along these lines: is how many times does somebody, and you see this a lot in big movie stars or rock musicians, where suddenly they're an overnight success, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's just an overnight success. Look at that." And what's left out of that overnight success that people don't talk about is the amount of years and years of work that they put in to get to where they had that overnight success. And, having talked to and knowing many people in LA and Hollywood and the actors and whatnot, and the amount of absolute hard work that they put in before they became an overnight success is phenomenal. So it's if you want to get to the point to where you have the kind of success that you want in your life, you have to go through the trials and tribulations that get you there. And Mark, you put it so well when you talk in here and you talk about David's lions and whatnot, and where he went to later on with his life, where he went to later on with his music, and all the things that he had spent years and years and years perfecting in private, in silence, and how that the time that we spend in private doing these things, these are what are going to attract people to us. This is what's going to help us build our 4,000 person choir and whatever that may be in your life. Because not everybody's going to have a 4,000 person choir. Not everybody's going to have music and play the lyre as their instrument or their fun. So, where does that go? What do you do to have the success that you want in your life in the future? What are you doing today to slay the lions and tigers and bears that are the things that are going to take you to the past and attract the people to you as the time goes by? And Mark, you talk about in here, not just that, you talk about visualization, which, so many people leave out. And this has always been a big pet peeve of mine, is so many people out there talk about prayer, pray, but they leave out the idea of the vision and the meditation. You've got to see what you're praying for. You've got to know what you're reaching for. You've got to know, and I love the way you talk about this. You talk about it here. What newspaper, magazine articles are going to be written about you? Well, me, the ones I envision people writing about me in the future and whatnot are going to be articles about him selfishly helping other people. And I almost sound bad just even saying that because what is selfish? Does selfish mean that we don't take pride in what we're doing to help uplift others? This is every kind of thing that we do that might show that we are confident in reaching forward a bad thing, and they talk about, don't be prideful, but there's a difference, of course, than being prideful, than being confident and moving forward and doing things with pride in ourselves in what we want to accomplish to help others. So what do I want the magazines, the newspaper articles to be about? I want them to be about the legacy that I leave behind. What have I done in my life to uplift the lives of others, okay? What TV show do I want to be on? Well, I'm an actor. I want to be on all of them. So, there's statues, paintings. It's like these are the kind of greatness that you leave behind. It's, the people that we want to remember in our life are the great ones, the ones that had that had the spirit inside them to do great things because of what it can do to uplift the world? Do we want the world to just be full of the people that were out there doing things just for themselves? No. We want them there. So, how do you want your contribution to last? What do you want to leave behind? These are great things to think about, because for me, my legacy is not going to be just my genetic legacy that I leave behind. It's what have my actions done? And this is what you're talking about in your Mark. And Mark, obviously, I love this. They're talking about the actions that we're going to do to change the world at large. And what actions are we taking today while nobody knows who we are that are going to set up the actions for the future? We can look at people. We can look at all the people that have done things throughout history and what they've done to change the world. And if we go back and we look at the things they did, slaying their lions and their bears when they were young, we can see what shaped them to become the people that they became, that we remember and we revere. Let's look at the great actors, the great politicians, the great leaders of our society, and what did they do to become what they are. And Mark, it's like I can't do justice to really explaining the power that this has. All I can say is that it's going to help me look at the lions and the bears that I have in front of me right now in my life. Looking at the lions and bears that are in front of me and in the way of me achieving the greatness that I want to help others to achieve, and moving forward through those to the rewards that come out at the other end. David ended up becoming a king. He ended up marrying the princess because he looked past those obstacles. He always looked past the obstacle to the reward. And the reward was he got to marry the princess and he got to become king. And as king, he got to forward the things that were important in his life, the things that he had built and grew when he was a shepherd in the field, quietly playing the instrument to himself. Mark, thank you again from all my heart for this heart-centered, spiritually based opportunity, business, and company. And guys, if you don't have, if you're in ILN and you're not pro and you don't have Solomon, look close at how these have been put there for you at a level that's easy to get. And no, these are not just about making money. This is about building a legacy. Your legacy. Peace.